Good afternoon. I call this special meeting of the Minot City Council to order. Roll call, please.
Berg. Franzog. Here. Hedberg. Here. Janser. Kosen.
Here.
Lehner.
Here.
Olson. Here. Panko.
Here.
Pajagula.
Here.
Schuler.
Here.
Shimento. Sitma.
Here.
Straight. Withus.
Here.
Barney.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Chairman,
Mr. Lehner.
we have one item on our agenda, which is the only item we can act upon today, and I would like to make a motion that the City Council adopt the resolution in front of us, it's also at the front desk, or at the front entrance, declaring a snow emergency exists in the City of Minot, North Dakota, and orders the activation and utilization of City of Minot Emergency Fund and the City of Minot Emergency Operations Plan, its procedures, attachments, and appendices to monitor the situation, alleviate hardship, and initiate appropriate relief action and mitigation measures by departments and agencies of local government to limit the impact of this emergency upon the citizens of the City of Minot. I also move that the council seek the help of Ward County and the state of North Dakota with expenses necessary to alleviate the snow emergency in the City of Minot.
Second.
Seconded by Olson. Open for discussion. Alderman Pajagula.
Yeah, comment and two brief questions. First comment, thanks to the city staff, especially snow removal personnel who worked under very adverse conditions. Streets aren't the greatest, but I think that's really a tremendous effort given the circumstances, and I wanted to be very public about that. Thanks. Second, two questions. First is, what's the length of time that this resolution declaration is in effect?
I will defer to our city manager.
Yes, thank you, Madam Vice Chair, Councilman. The length of period would be 7 days. If the emergency continues, we could issue another resolution which would extend another 7 days, but the maximum is 7 day period.
Is that something that needs to be specified in the resolution or not?
Madam, well, we defer to
I
our
believe
attorney.
Stephanie's got an answer for us.
So the special city, excuse me, the 7 day time period is if the city manager were to declare the snow emergency, and since we're actually having the council declare the snow emergency, it will just exist until the springtime. So if we had an ordinance, this was something that was discussed back in 2012, initiating an ordinance that would allow the city manager to declare a snow emergency. And if we had that ordinance, then the city manager could enact it for 7 days, after which it would have to continuously be renewed or approved by the city council. But since it's the city council that's taking the initiative and adopting the snow emergency, then it will just exist until the springtime is my understanding of how the statute works.
Are there any legal problems with that? I mean, we're granting emergency powers to people, and I don't know, the libertarian maybe is a little...
So my understanding with the snow emergency declaration is that it's not affording any special powers or emergency powers at this moment. It's just declaring that the snow emergency exists, and the primary goal is to take the first step in becoming eligible for any state or county funding if anything should become available. My understanding is that there hasn't been any action taken at the state level yet, but in the event funding does become available, this would be the first step for us to have to initiate and declare an emergency declaration.
Okay, thank you. And the second question, I guess, was where do we stand financially in terms of the added expenses because of all the overtime and the equipment and the hiring of the contractors? And I know this is a mention in here of being able to tap the emergency fund. And if my recollection is correct, the emergency fund has kind of been depleted.
I think we'll ask our city finance director or our public works director to address that question.
Madam Chairman, Alderman Pajagula, we don't have a total on all of the expenses yet. Since contractors are continuously working, we aren't able to get invoices in daily on that. But with the equipment we've had out there and the continuous overtime that we've had since the storm started in the end of November, we're expected to exceed the amount that's in our emergency fund even.
So, any rough idea as to how much and where we'll come up with the money?
Madam Chairman, Alderman Padagula, not at this time. Like I said, operations are going to have to continue. The roads are just open now. We'll continue utilizing contractors and our forces to widen them out and get them more passable, and start hauling operations again on the major thoroughfares like we had done after the previous storms, to get the major roads such as Burdick and Broadway widened out again to all lanes of traffic and to have future snow storage.
So, work in progress, basically.
That's correct.
Thank you for your hard work. Appreciate your answer.
Any other questions for Dan? Alderman Chimento, and
Madam Chairman, Alderman Schmento, I believe there's approximately 750,000
Oh, really?
in there.
anyone else? Thank you, Dan. Any other discussion? Any other discussion? One last time, anybody else have any other questions or comments? Seeing none, we will call the question.
Weiner,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Panko,
Yes.
Padragula,
Yes.
Schuler,
Yes.
Chimento,
Yes.
Sitma,
Yes.
Straight, oh, sorry, Franzog,
Yes.
Hedberg,
Yes.
Coulson.
Yes.
And that passes, and now we are in line for an adjournment.
So moved.
Moved by Lehner.
Second.
Seconded by Sipma. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.